It was 1995 when Belize Telecommunications Limited first launched dial-up connection, offering Belizeans the opportunity to log on to the World Wide Web with the rest of the world. Even though some would say that Belize has been slow to change in the past, following the introduction of the internet, we have been quickly catching up with technological advancements. The question then is, do we want Belize to be like other countries that are facing problems like these?
The internet has become the hunting ground of the pedophile. You've seen what's on his screen. Imagine what's on his mind.
Excluding Belize from this worldwide problem does not seem practical. After all, Belize has met face-to-face with people like these.
But how would it be possible for those people to have contact with our Belizean children? Believe it or not, one of their primary connections is probably sitting in your home as I speak, the internet. To find out more about children on the internet, I took the time to speak with 4 teenagers. Do you use the internet regularly?
Yes, I do.
How do you access the internet?
I access it at home.
I usually access internet at my house.
I have internet at my house, so normally at my house or at a computer that has internet, doesn't matter where it is.
How do you access the internet?
Well, I access the internet by going over to my cousins because they're my neighbors and I really don't have any internet at home, so I use their internet.
Obviously, an internet connection is pretty common in most households in Belize. And for those who don't have access to it, they can seek it at internet cafes, school computer labs, at a friend's house, and these days, even mobile phones. And with the internet accessible 24/7, how much of that time are children online?
I spend the most five hours
Is that per day or per week?
per day.
I spend about 2 hours per day on the internet.
Yeah, normally on a regular basis or sometimes only on the weekends.
And what are children doing on the internet?
I would say High Five, MTV, BT, VH1, and MySpace.
Which one do you spend the most time on?
I spend most of my time on High Five.
Well, my favorite websites are hotmail.com and you have High Five, Tagged, ilike.com, that's where I get my music.
My most favorite websites are High Five, stupidvideos.com, and mostly the clothing websites.
Which one would you say you spend the most time on?
I spend a lot of time on High Five, I think, more than the others.
Most favorite websites will have to be MySpace, High Five, and ilike.
Which one do you spend the most time on?
I spend the most time on High Five.
This is my High Five page. It's a new form of socializing for many of our young Belizeans. In order for us to understand more about this website and the internet, we spoke to Mr. Niall Jalip, a security consultant who operates his own internet cafe in Boroboom.
High Five and MySpace are basically social networks. Basically, I like to call them vanity pages, where people, especially younger teenagers, younger children, adults, go online and they show off their photos of themselves, their kids, their dogs, their cats. They exchange chats, they videos, ringtones, the like. There's always a chance for predators. There's a chance for information theft. There's a chance for bullying online. Those are just a few of the dangers for young people, especially if they're not prepared or if they're not instructed on what they should be doing online.
Do your parents have any rules on the sites you visit?
Yes, especially the pornographic ones. They don't want us to don't want us to view any pornographic materials.
Do your parents have any rules on the sites you visit?
Not really, as long as I don't visit websites that are not appropriate for my age.
No, not really, because they do not know when I use the internet, because we do not have any at home. So I don't think they have any rules on that.
Yeah, like most parents do, you stay within restrictions of, only teen websites or websites appropriate for my age. So.
Do you think the internet can be dangerous?
Yes, I do think so, because children could go on websites that have porn on them, are sexually explicit, and influence you to do bad stuff like drugs and violence.
Yes, it can be dangerous because they have a whole lot of things going on the internet. Like, people can take your photo from like, say they view your high-five file, and they could move it to another profile and stick it on another body or anything.
The internet has very discreet ways of being dangerous, because there are a lot of attractive things, and you get roped into, disclosing your personal information to a lot of people, and therefore they find out a lot about you. And there have been instances where they come and track you down wherever you live, and there's a lot of kidnapping cases. So I do think it can be very dangerous if you're not careful as to what you put on it or how you use it.
Are you aware of any laws pertaining to the internet usage?
In Belize, none. In the States, however, there are quite a few laws in quite a few states which cover rules and regulations of utilizing the internet in public places like libraries, in schools. Another thing we have to be careful of young people using the internet, and especially visiting the high-five sites and putting out personal information, is that sometimes I've been online and I've seen teenagers put, and I say teenagers because by law, these high-five accounts and these MySpace accounts, you're supposed to be 13 years and older. So these teenagers put information out there which could be dangerous, especially in these times in Belize. We have high schools that they're attending. We have some of their addresses, especially if they live in a small community where it's very easy to find someone. We have last names. We have names of families. We have names of parents. We have where their parents work. We have, the amount of information that is given out on these accounts. If I sat down and I asked these students face-to-face for this information, a bell would probably go off and they would say, no, you're not supposed to ask me that, or I'm not supposed to give you that information. But they see no problem with exposing a lot of this information on the internet for the world to see and for the world to use. It is extremely easy for anyone to go online right here in Belize, do a quick search. Remember, we live in a small country. Do a quick search and find out a ton of information that this person would never tell me in a million years. But I can get it quickly and easily from High5 or from MySpace.
Since the invention of the internet, it has dramatically changed our world, bridging the barrier of time and distance, allowing people to share information and work together. However, like most other circumstances, children need special protection. Always be aware that the internet introduces potential dangers in the lives of your child.
There are some functions in these accounts like High5 and MySpace which allow you to password protect certain information. I highly recommend that if you have a lot of photos and you want to show off, put them in a section of the site where you can password protect it. Remember that as you're putting information out, consider what kind of information that you're putting out. Think twice about putting out your last name, financial information, place of work, school, address, telephone numbers, anything that would make it easy for someone to find out exactly where you live, where you work, and how they can have access to you or your children.
Spend time alongside your child when they are online and establish an atmosphere of trust regarding computer usage and internet activities. Be sure to monitor your children and do all that you can to keep them safe.